Hi. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Mighty Fan. It is your boy, Big Slim 627, back finally with another video, and this will be my first of, what year is it? 2026. I make so many videos these days. Of course, I can't even remember. Mighty even asked me, he goes, "What Slim Pickens is this?" And I'm like, let me look. Slim Pickens volume number 84, if anyone's counting or anyone cares. This was actually Mighty's idea to make these, to make today's video. We're going to be doing a video for his, so anybody that follows him more than likely already follows me. So he's already got a haul that he's going to be showing. You can probably see it sitting there in a chair in the background. That'll be for his video. We're doing this one directly as a shout out to my guy, Sergio Chavez, aka the Jersey Doctor in Arizona. He made a couple. Well, I wouldn't say it was. I kind of drug Mighty into this one to save a little money on us getting these made together. I saw an opportunity to get a quote-unquote grail done, and for me, this is a grail. I mean, I've been bitching for this one for a long time, talking to Mitchell and Ness. I mean, for years. And shout out to Josh, who apparently just got a promotion. He'll never see this. He'll never watch this. But shout out to Josh. He just got a promotion. He was Mitchell and Ness. He was a store manager at the Mitchell and Ness store. Apparently, he's going to be a higher up, hanging out with my boy Dex, who is also a higher up. And shout out to Dex. We've seen him leaving the Mitchell and Ness store, walking, all of a sudden somebody's yelling at us out in the street, and it ended up being Dex, and in his Tesla, being a cool guy. Yeah, Dex is also one of the other guys that I used to always complain about wanting to get this jersey made. Had a chance to pick up a couple of blanks. One was a Buffalo Bills, and one was a Philadelphia Eagles. The Bills one was pretty much already ready to go, like in early '90s, just needed a heat press, and I hollered at Mighty and I said, "Hey man, why don't we look into it'll save me. Is there a Bills player you'd want?" And of course, asking him to buy another jersey wasn't hard at all, trust me. And it was a chance for me to complete a grail, if you want to, like I said, as an Eagles fan and a Reggie White fan. Anybody that knows anything about Reggie White's career, a lot of people might believe that maybe if they didn't do their research, is that Reggie's entire career, he wore number 92 at University of Tennessee, with the Memphis Showboats in USFL, with the Eagles, Packers, and then 1 year off in 1999, came back with Carolina, which I also have that jersey. I had that made as well in 2000, which was the last year of his career. Rest in peace, Reggie White, passed away December 26th, 2004. They say the good die young, and Reggie was still pretty young, and he was a great man. So what I decided to do is I wanted to get his rookie done, and he was still with the USFL at the very beginning of the '85 season for the Eagles. And when he came in, ironically, I forget what player it was. I saw the picture, and they were making a comment during the that Reggie was going to be the USFL was folding, and he was going to be joining the Eagles. And when he did, I was able to screen grab a picture of him standing there on the sideline. I think it was against the Giants, and he's standing there, and there's some big oafy white dude wearing number 92 standing next to him. So clearly Reggie didn't wear number 92 his rookie year. So real quick before we get into the jerseys, I had to bark at this guy to get him to he's the combo wombo guy. So I got him to, he decided to go with Joe Klecko, and then didn't want to wear a hat. And now this is his stuff, perfectly matched the helmet hatch, which complete sucker for, and so is he. I have that same hat. Of course, my head's fat, so I only have a portion or a small sample size of those helmet hats that I like that he can have, because they made him with snapbacks. And so I told him, I was like, come on, man. I was like, no better combo than that. He looked flustered, but he went and got the hat, and now he's all pretty. Look at him. He's all dressed up in green. So, but the 84 Joe Klecko for him, and what used to be a 1969 Gale Sayers for me, and big fan of Brian's song, the movie with James Caan and Billy D. Williams, who played Gale Sayers, and James, who played Brian Piccolo, who passed away from leukemia in 1970, very early 1970. Did play with the Bears from 65 to 69, and big time jerseys. Patsy Elmer, she is the one that took care of this one for me, and took an extra Gale Sayers that I had, and turned it into a Brian Piccolo, and so that is what I am wearing. Former Mitchell and S. Gale Sayers turned into a Brian Piccolo, Brian song, and kind of cool that it's at some point, I forget when I got it, but I was able to get the time period correct. Chicago Bears hat, this was their logo up until 1973, so it goes with the jersey. It's just as you can see, just a C, just a white C on it. So we'll go ahead and get the jersey. Mike said he wants to go last, so I'll show mine first. And like I said, this was was able to grab two blanks, and one was the Buffalo Bills, and this one was actually in early 90s, had the NFL shield on it, had the starter logos that were stitched on. They're not embroidered in, thank goodness, because that would have been hell getting them out. And I also decided to take off the jock tag, which was also starter. Only thing I didn't remove was the neck tag. On the fence about that. I mean, obviously I could just snip it out and probably would never miss it. But again, shout out to Sergio, the Jersey doctor in Arizona. He was the one that took care of this for me. Actually called me out of nowhere, and I sat and watched him work. He makes it look so simple too. So it is a 1985. As correct as I'll probably ever be able to get. The mesh is probably in the mid 80s. The mesh was probably more that thicker, or that more stuff where you could see into the pads, especially the Eagles in the early 80s and back into the 70s. A lot of their jerseys, hell, I mean, the Eagles jerseys, you could look right in and see the pads. I mean, I'm not a big fan of that big open mesh. I know it's more accurate, but this is probably as close as it's going to get to accurate for me. But so this is a 1985, and this is the only year that Reggie White played in the NFL, or actually in his whole professional career, that he played where he did not wear number 92. And this is a number 91. It is. It was, like I said, it was a early 90s Eagles blank. And like I said, I stripped everything off to make it look as plain as the mid 80s as they were, and did some research and made sure that Reggie didn't wear, that there was no other white on the team at the time to where there would be an R.3 R. white like in the 90s, in the 92 on the Jerome jersey when Jerome passed away, in the Jerome Memorial. So, but yeah, I mean, nothing to it. I mean, it's just it's plain plain Jane, plain Eagles. Like, everything on it literally is heat press. There's nothing stitched about it. I took the V-neck off, and and there's white on a nameplate, and heat pressed number 91. Shout out to Nostalgia Boy. I will not be walking around the camera, dancing with the camera, and here it is, and this is how Rob would show it.
Yeah.
And I know Rob will watch, so I'll get shit from him later. That's fine, but whatever.
Nah, that's not how I do it.
Guam Nostalgia Boy. He misses the cold weather. He needs to come back to the He needs to come back to the homeland. He needs to come back to the States. Come back to the 48. But yeah, I'll let Mighty get into the story about how he decided to choose what Sergio did for him. But I had to knock this off of this. This was one of those. There was a few that I had to that I really wanted to get off that bucket list, and this was one of them. I mean, this is this was a starter blank from the early '90s, and I decided to strip all the stuff off of it and have it turn into a Reggie White rookie. And by '86, he was in number 92. So I guess they got rid of the Opie White dude that wore his number, or made him change his number or something. Reggie bought it, something. I don't know. I didn't do the research on that guy. He was just some guy with a mustache, white dude, standing there next to Reggie. But yep. So here it is. And like I said, we're in the Mighty Kingdom. So I'll let the host with the most, and let him go next. And sorry, I know I'm probably. It probably looks like I'm dancing with this thing, but I mean, I don't mind. So like I said, I'll let Mighty get into his early '90s Buffalo Bills, and there we go, one last time. So, all right, Mr. Klecko, Mr. Hall of Famer.
All right, well, Temple Tough.
Oh, you hear him getting up?
You
hear him getting out of the chair?
I'm actually wearing this. I thought I'd wear the Jets because a mutual friend of ours, Dewey, is in the hospital right now. I just wanted to wish him well and, speedy recovery. And he's a diehard Jet fan, so wanted to throw a Jets jersey on and hat, for him. Hoping he feels better soon.
I'll make sure I forward this to Dewey. Dewey, you'll see this. So.
Dewey's definitely a one of one.
A one.
A one of one.
I'm trying to be nice. Yeah. I can already hear him now. Mark wants to say something. But yeah, I'll make sure I forward this to Dewey. So
Dewey, all the best to you and get well soon. And I think your Jets had a pretty good draft this draft.
That's a nice jersey.
It's a nice jersey.
That's a nice jersey.
I have one like it.
He does. He has gas.
He has Gastineau, yeah. And ironically, wearing the Jets because they are a rival to the Bills, but I'm an Eagles fan, so I don't really look at that Jets-Bills rivalry as deep as Bills or Jets fans would. My actually, full disclosure, my favorite AFC team's the Steelers. So, but I've always liked the Bills too because I watched them through those 4 Super Bowls. They lost all 4 of them in the early '90s, and I rooted for them in every one. I just always liked that team. I liked their uniforms. I thought they popped in those years, and some of those players were iconic. And I always kind of respected that team and that fan base because they're a very loyal fan base, like Eagle fans are. Even though we're not wearing Eagle stuff right now, but we're very loyal to our teams. And
yeah, I'm a loyal Eagles fan. Yeah.
When Slim told me about the opportunity of getting a blank Bills jersey and to pick the player,
Leon, what?
Yeah, I was really debating between 2 players because I do have some Bills jerseys in the collection. I have some Authentics, and I have some Mitchell Ness Authentics as well. And I kept going back and forth, and I thought of 2 players. I thought of one of their more prominent defensive players from those years. There was a linebacker for all the years there, Darryl Talley. And I also thought
that would have been a nice one.
I also thought of Don Beebe, and the reason I thought of Don Beebe is because Cornelius Bennett. I thought of Don Beebe because I liked that number 82, and I liked Beebe, back then, and that play he made in that Super Bowl versus Leon Lett when the game was in hand. Dallas was going to win the game. That was basically like the cherry on the sundae for Dallas if they would have scored that touchdown. And Don Beebe comes running up behind him and knocks the ball out. And what was it, a touchback? It became a touchback. It wasn't even because he knocked the ball out before Leon crossed the end zone. Leon was like showboating, holding the ball out, and Beebe comes up behind him and knocks the ball out. And I just thought that was, of all their Super Bowls, I thought that was one of the more memorable plays of the 4 Super Bowls that they were in.
The 1993 calendar year wasn't good for Leon Lett.
Yeah, the Thanksgiving game
against
the Dolphins,
Miami when he helped them win it.
Yeah,
Stoyanovich hit a retry.
But I always thought
snow inside Texas Stadium, which made no sense. But
I always thought I don't think I'll ever have kids, but if I ever had kids and they wanted to, over time see the collection, what jersey would I kind of, outside of the Philly team jerseys, it'd probably be a Don Beebe jersey. And I would tell them the story of what happened. And it's a great story in sports about perseverance, about never giving up. And, you know, you just don't take anything for granted. I would show them the highlight.
When they got to the Super Bowl, that was the Oilers game.
They had one of the largest comebacks in playoff history in NFL.
It still is.
And it got to the point where their own fans didn't want them to go back to the Super Bowl because they were tired of losing. But the Bills wanted it so bad. They wanted to get there and finally win.
You know what the irony was?
They just couldn't do it.
The irony of that day, when the Bills came back and beat the Oilers.
Yeah.
We played the Saints, and that was Reggie White's last win as an Eagle.
It was his only win as an Eagle. So at any rate, long story long, the opportunity came to get this jersey done, and you know, like I said, if I ever had, probably won't, but if I ever had kids, I would show them the YouTube highlight of the play in that Super Bowl. And even though Dallas won that Super Bowl, that play may have been still one of the more memorable plays of that Super Bowl, even though this team lost.
And shout out to Niners Nation, because Leon, that left Dallas with 52 points, and now the record stays with the 49ers at 55 against the Broncos.
There you go.
So shout out to Rez and Bay Area
and all the Niner fans out there.
49er fans.
So I do want to give a shout, like Slim said, to the Jersey Doctor, Sergio, for this.
Yeah.
Beautiful job.
Sergio, you're another one. I hope you're doing well, sir.
I don't know how he does it, but he does it.
Made this shit look so simple watching him do it.
And here's the jersey. So you got the authentic Bills, just like it was for the Reggie. Everything's pressed on because that's how the Bills wore it back then. So this is a starter authentic, and you see the starter.
The tags are still on it.
The tags are still on there. And you have the 82s, of course, over the sleeves. I've always loved these Bills, like the stripes on the sleeves from their jerseys over that time period. 82 again. 82 on the front. Here's the jock tag. Right there, vintage. And then you got Beebe on a nameplate with the 82. In fact, Don Beebe would later win a Super Bowl with the Packers. Right after he left Buffalo, and he always said he felt bad about winning that Super Bowl because he didn't do it with his teammates in Buffalo. But to a man, they were all really happy for him that he won. You know, that he was able to win a Super Bowl because they said he definitely deserved it. And he was just he was a very good receiver. He was a good special teamer for years. And again, I mean, that moment in the Super Bowl when he knocked the ball away from Leon Lett, preventing the touchdown, is still I think one of the more memorable moments, for me at least, in Super Bowl history, even for a losing team. But so I definitely, like I said, when I had a chance to get a blank Bills turned into a player, I really did think about it for a bit, but then I just said I got to go with Don Beebe. Don Beebe was like my first choice, and I just kept going back and forth. And I think I was on the phone or we were FaceTiming, and I said I got to go with Beebe. I just got to go with Beebe. Lock it in. Just tell Sergio Beebe for the Bills. So there you go. That's my story, and there's the jersey. So again, big shout out to the Jersey Doctor, Sergio, for this, and a beautiful addition to the collection. And of course for Slim's collection too, with that rookie Reggie. It's just an awesome jersey.
Yeah, and again, like I just said something a minute ago, Sergio, if something happens, man, you end up watching this, thoughts and prayers to you too, man.
Yeah.
I know you've had some issues too with some, you've had some health issues. So thinking about you too, praying for you too, brother. So all right, well, I guess going to go ahead and wrap it up. I wanted to devote this one. I told Sergio we put out a video, give him a shout out, give him some love for what he did. Like I said, I knew that he was going to be excited to get another Bills jersey, but for me, I mean, this was the Eagles jersey that was just pissing me off. That and Mitchell and Ness had made a claim that Reggie didn't, Reggie's estate, his girl, his wife, or his estate was not interested in making his rookie, that was not number 92.
Which is bizarre.
Yeah, but I mean that's his family. They're not thinking like a Jersey head.
Sure.
Like Eagles fans would jump all over his rookie. I think they would. I think if Mitchell and Ness put it out, I think it would sell okay. Like the Ray Lewis rookie, like
Yeah.
they made a later Ray Lewis, but they didn't want to make his rookie. So again, I think, and I would have been. I can't stand the Ravens. I was like, but I would have been all over that jersey, you know. And I own a couple Ravens, you know, Dion, Ed Reed, and Ray. So and Randall Cunningham, as a matter of fact, I made. Shout out to Patsy again. She made a 2001 helmet tag Randall for me. So going to go ahead and wrap this one up, guys. You know, as two of the biggest blabbers in the fucking YouTube business on one video, blabbing. All we did was show 2 jerseys. Well, technically 4. So, but yeah. So thanks for watching, guys, and for, you know, here at the Mighty Kingdom for Mighty Fan, I am your boy BYG Slim, and again, shout out to everybody in the Jersey community. Throwback King, who started this whole thing, you know, got to give him some love. Don't know that he's been doing too much lately with jerseys. You know, and everybody else that, and this is where I start brain farting and need to just hit stop. So, but yeah, shout out to Rez, my boy Rob, you know, Birdo, as he calls him. I just call him Rob, you know, Bobby. Shout out to you, Bobby. And out in Guam, get your ass home soon, bro. And hope everybody is having a great 2026. I'll be back with more eventually. So, but going to wrap it up here at the Mighty Kingdom, SP84, and I am out. See you guys later.